Welcome to this extended highlight and tactical breakdown of Brazil versus Tunisia, played in Lille, France, on November 18, 2025. This friendly match ended in a 1-1 draw, but the story of the game goes far beyond the scoreline. Brazil entered the match with high expectations, fielding a mix of experienced names and rising stars, while Tunisia came determined to prove their resilience against one of football's giants. Over the next 20 minutes, we will dive into every phase of play, from the opening exchanges to the dramatic missed penalty, and explore how the atmosphere in the stadium shaped the narrative of the night. From the opening whistle, Brazil controlled the ball, moving it with confidence across midfield. Their passing triangles were sharp, their tempo deliberate, and their intent clear, to dominate possession and wear down Tunisia's defensive lines. Tunisia, however, stayed compact, waiting for counterattacks. Their defenders closed spaces quickly, their midfielders tracked runners diligently, and their forwards looked for moments to break forward. The tension built as fans from both nations filled the stadium with chants and energy, creating an atmosphere that felt more like a tournament than a friendly. Brazil's midfield trio circulated possession with patience, probing for gaps. Casemiro anchored the play, Estêvão drifted between lines to orchestrate attacks, and Paquetá looked to break forward with late runs. Tunisia's defenders stayed disciplined, closing spaces quickly. Every pass carried weight, every movement tested the balance between creativity and defensive solidity. The crowd responded to every flick and feint, creating a rhythm that matched the tempo of the game. In the 23rd minute, Tunisia shocked Brazil. Hazem Mastouri finished clinically after a rare opening, punishing Brazil's defense for a momentary lapse. The goal lifted Tunisia's confidence, and their fans erupted, waving flags and chanting loudly. Brazil looked momentarily unsettled, but quickly regrouped, determined to restore control and show their attacking strength. The setback was a reminder that even giants can be punished when concentration slips, and it gave Tunisia belief that they could stand toe-to-toe with one of the world's best teams. Brazil equalized just before half-time. Estêvão converted a penalty in the 44th minute with calm composure. The young talent showed maturity beyond his years, proving Brazil's next generation can handle pressure on the big stage. His celebration was modest, but the relief was clear. Brazil had restored parity, and the crowd roared as players walked off at half-time, knowing the second half would bring more drama. The first half ended with both teams locked at 1-1. Brazil had more possession and chances, but Tunisia's discipline kept them alive. The second half began with Brazil pressing higher, determined to break the deadlock. They created wave after wave of attacks, stretching Tunisia's defense with overlapping fullbacks and quick interchanges in midfield. Every possession looked dangerous, yet Tunisia's defenders stayed compact, clearing crosses and blocking shots. The game became a test of patience and resilience. Brazil's attackers grew frustrated, while Tunisia's defenders grew in confidence, knowing every minute that passed brought them closer to a valuable draw. Brazil's midfield continued to dictate tempo. Casemiro shielded the back line, Estêvão drifted into pockets of space to link play, and Paquetá tried to break lines with forward runs. Wide players hugged the touchline, forcing Tunisia to defend across the entire pitch. Despite this dominance, the final ball often lacked precision. Shots flew wide, crosses were intercepted, and Tunisia's goalkeeper produced several crucial saves. The longer the score remained level, the louder Tunisian fans became, sensing an upset was possible. Lucas Paquetá had the chance to put Brazil ahead. His penalty in the second half was struck firmly, but the Tunisian goalkeeper guessed correctly and parried it away. The stadium erupted. Brazilian fans groaned in disbelief, while Tunisian supporters celebrated as if it were a goal. That moment shifted momentum. Brazil, despite their control, looked rattled. Tunisia gained renewed energy, defending with even greater determination. The missed penalty became the turning point that defined the match. Brazil continued to push forward. Richarlison tested the keeper with a header, Estêvão curled a shot just wide, and Vinicius Junior's dribbles unsettled defenders but failed to produce a finish. Tunisia relied on counterattacks, occasionally breaking forward with Mastouri and his teammates, but most of their energy was spent holding the line. Every clearance was cheered, every save celebrated. The game evolved into a battle of endurance, Brazil's creativity against Tunisia's discipline. By the final quarter of the match, Brazil had registered over 20 attempts on goal. Their possession exceeded 70%, yet the scoreline remained unchanged. Tunisia's goalkeeper was the hero, making save after save. Brazil's frustration was visible, hands on hips, head shaking, players exchanging glances of disbelief. The crowd sensed the drama. Could Tunisia hold on? Could Brazil find a breakthrough? The tension was palpable, and every second felt heavier than the last. Brazil's tactical setup throughout the match was a fluid 4-3-3. Casemiro anchored midfield, shielding the backline and recycling possession. Estêvão drifted between lines, acting as the creative spark, while Paquetá pushed forward to support the attack. Wide players stretched Tunisia's defense, forcing them to cover the full width of the pitch. This system created numerous chances, but the finishing touch was missing. Tunisia, on the other hand, relied on a disciplined 4-4-2. Their midfield stayed compact, closing central spaces and forcing Brazil to attack from wide areas. Defenders remained tight, rarely leaving gaps between lines. Their strategy was clear: absorb pressure, frustrate Brazil, and look for counterattacks. Mastouri's goal in the first half was the perfect example of how effective quick transitions could be when Brazil's defense lost focus. Statistically, Brazil dominated. They registered 21 shots compared to Tunisia's 7, enjoyed over 70% possession, and completed hundreds of passes with high accuracy. Yet efficiency favored Tunisia. Brazil's inability to convert dominance into goals defined the match. Every wasted chance reinforced the idea that possession alone does not guarantee victory. The decathlon arena in Lille was alive with energy. Brazilian fans brought samba rhythms, singing and dancing throughout the match. Tunisian supporters matched them with passionate chants, drums, and flags. The clash of cultures created a vibrant backdrop. Every goal, every save, every missed chance was met with thunderous reactions. The stadium felt like a World Cup venue, even though it was only a friendly. Atmosphere elevated the stakes, making the game unforgettable. As the final whistle blew, the scoreboard read Brazil 1, Tunisia 1. For Brazil, the draw felt like a missed opportunity. They had dominated possession, created countless chances, and even earned 2 penalties, yet only one was converted. The missed penalty by Paquetá became the symbol of frustration, a reminder that control without efficiency can leave even the strongest teams vulnerable. For Tunisia, the result was celebrated as a triumph of discipline and resilience. Their players embraced at the final whistle, knowing they had held off one of football's giants. Mastouri's first-half goal and the goalkeeper's heroics became defining moments. The fans in Lille erupted with pride, waving flags and chanting long after the match ended. The narrative of this game is not just about numbers. It is about belief, composure, and the unpredictability of football. Brazil's young star Estêvão showed maturity, converting his penalty with calmness. Paquetá's miss revealed the fine margins that separate victory from disappointment. Tunisia's defenders embodied grit, blocking shots and clearing danger with determination. Looking ahead, Brazil must reflect on their finishing. Possession and creativity are valuable, but efficiency in front of goal is essential. For Tunisia, this match will be remembered as proof of their ability to compete against elite opposition. Their tactical discipline, combined with passionate support, created a performance that will inspire confidence in future fixtures. The decathlon arena witnessed a clash of styles, cultures, and emotions. Samba rhythms met Tunisian chants, and the result was a spectacle that transcended the friendly label. Football once again reminded us that dominance does not guarantee victory, and that resilience can earn respect on the global stage. Final score: Brazil 1, Tunisia 1. A draw that felt like a victory for Tunisia and a lesson for Brazil. Beyond the goals and missed penalties, the match offered countless small stories that shaped the narrative. In the 52nd minute, Brazil nearly took the lead when Vinicius Jr. dribbled past 2 defenders and unleashed a curling shot, only for the Tunisian goalkeeper to stretch fully and tip the ball wide. The save drew applause even from neutral fans, a testament to its brilliance. At minute 67, Richarlison rose highest to meet a cross from the right. His header looked destined for the net, but once again the keeper reacted sharply, parrying the ball away. Brazil's frustration grew, and Paquetá gestured to teammates, urging calm and focus. The missed opportunities began to weigh heavily on the players, each chance adding pressure to the next. In the 81st minute, Estêvão produced a moment of magic. Receiving the ball near the edge of the box, he danced past 2 defenders and fired low toward the corner. The shot beat the keeper but struck the post, bouncing back into play. The crowd gasped collectively, sensing how close Brazil had come to victory. Tunisia cleared the rebound, and their fans erupted in relief. Individual performances told their own stories. Estêvão, despite his youth, displayed vision and composure, orchestrating attacks with maturity. Paquetá, though missing the penalty, worked tirelessly, pressing high and linking play. Casemiro provided stability, breaking up counterattacks and recycling possession. For Tunisia, Mastouri's goal was the headline, but their goalkeeper was the true hero, producing save after save that kept the score level. Statistically, Brazil's dominance was overwhelming. They completed over 600 passes with an accuracy above 85%. They won 60% of duels, created 10 corners, and forced Tunisia into 20 clearances. Yet Tunisia's efficiency was unmatched. One clear chance, one goal. Their defensive line blocked 12 shots, their keeper made 8 saves, and their discipline resulted in only 2 yellow cards. Numbers told the story of control versus resilience. The crowd's role cannot be overstated. Brazilian supporters sang relentlessly, trying to lift their team. Tunisian fans responded with chants that echoed across the stadium, creating a duel of voices as intense as the duel on the pitch. Every near miss from Brazil was met with groans, every clearance from Tunisia with cheers. The atmosphere elevated the match, making it feel like a clash of nations rather than a simple friendly. As the match drew to its conclusion, the emotional weight inside the stadium was immense. Brazilian players looked exhausted, their faces reflecting disbelief that so much dominance had not translated into victory. They had controlled the rhythm, dictated the tempo, and created chance after chance, yet the scoreboard remained stubbornly fixed at 1-1. For a team accustomed to turning possession into goals, this was a sobering reminder of football's unpredictability. Tunisia's players, by contrast, celebrated every clearance as if it were a goal. Their unity was visible in every gesture, defenders high-fiving after blocks, midfielders applauding the goalkeeper after saves, and forwards sprinting back to help in defense. The collective spirit became their greatest weapon. Fans recognized this, chanting louder with each passing minute, creating a wall of sound that seemed to shield their team from Brazil's relentless pressure. The Brazilian supporters never stopped singing. Samba rhythms echoed across the stands, drums beating in sync with the team's attacks. Yet frustration crept into their voices as chances went begging. When Paquetá's penalty was saved, the groan was deafening, a sound of disbelief that reverberated through the arena. In contrast, Tunisian fans erupted in joy, waving flags and chanting the goalkeeper's name. The emotional contrast between the two sets of supporters added another layer to the spectacle. After the final whistle, the stadium became a theater of emotions. Brazilian players walked off with heads bowed, some applauding their fans in apology. Estêvão, despite scoring, looked contemplative, aware that his team had not delivered the expected victory. Paquetá lingered on the pitch, replaying the missed penalty in his mind. Meanwhile, Tunisia's players embraced, their smiles wide, their celebrations heartfelt. For them, this was more than a draw. It was proof of resilience, discipline, and belief. The narrative of this match will live beyond the 90 minutes. For Brazil, it is a lesson in efficiency. Possession and creativity must be matched by ruthless finishing. For Tunisia, it is a story of courage, standing firm against waves of attacks, seizing a rare chance, and leaving the pitch with pride. Fans from both nations will remember the night in Lille not just for the scoreline, but for the emotions, the atmosphere, and the reminder that football is a game of fine margins. Minute by minute, the second half revealed Brazil's persistence and Tunisia's resilience. At minute 55, Vinicius Jr. cut inside from the left, beating his marker with pace before firing a shot that whistled just over the bar. The crowd gasped, sensing how close Brazil was to taking the lead. By minute 62, Estêvão orchestrated another attack, threading a clever pass into the box. Richarlison latched onto it, but his attempt was smothered by the keeper. The Tunisian goalkeeper's reflexes became the story of the night, each save reinforcing his hero status. At minute 74, Paquetá attempted to redeem himself after the missed penalty. He surged forward, combining with Casemiro, and unleashed a powerful strike from distance. The ball dipped dangerously, but the keeper tipped it over the bar. Brazilian fans applauded the effort, yet frustration lingered. Minute 85 brought another dramatic moment. Brazil earned a free kick near the edge of the box. Estêvão stepped up, curling the ball toward the top corner. It beat the wall and seemed destined for glory, but once again the Tunisian keeper stretched to deny him. The save drew roars from Tunisian supporters, who sensed their team was on the brink of a famous result. Individual performances deserved deeper reflection. Estêvão's creativity was undeniable. His vision, dribbling, and composure marked him as a future star. Paquetá, despite the missed penalty, showed leadership, constantly urging teammates forward. Casemiro's discipline anchored Brazil, breaking up counters and maintaining balance. Vinicius Jr.'s flair unsettled defenders, though his finishing lacked sharpness. For Tunisia, Mastouri's goal was the headline, but his work rate throughout the match was equally impressive. He pressed defenders, chased loose balls, and provided an outlet for counterattacks. The goalkeeper, however, was the true hero. His saves at minutes 52, 67, 74, and 85 defined the match. Defenders complimented him with bravery, blocking shots and clearing danger under immense pressure. The statistics underline the contrast. Brazil's 21 shots dwarfed Tunisia's 7, yet both teams scored once. Brazil's passing accuracy exceeded 85%, while Tunisia's was closer to 70%, but Tunisia's efficiency in defense was unmatched. They blocked 12 shots, won 18 aerial duels, and committed only 10 fouls despite constant pressure. Crowd storytelling adds another layer. Brazilian fans sang louder after every missed chance, trying to will their team forward. Tunisian supporters responded with chants that echoed across the stadium, creating a duel of voices as intense as the duel on the pitch. The emotional rollercoaster inside the decathlon arena transformed the friendly into a spectacle remembered by all who witnessed it.
Mastouri! Hey! Kom maar! Kom op! Goed! Goed! Volgende!
Go,